What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we have some good news and some bad news to talk about. Actually, a couple of good news to talk about. The first good news being that today, day 4 of Worlds, if everything goes as planned, which I'm sure it should, you know, it's supposed to, we shouldn't have any craziness happening. If everything goes as planned today, after the Mad Lions DRX match, and I guess if there's no like tiebreakers or anything like that, I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but after Mad Lions' final match of the day today, I will actually be getting to interview one of the members of Mad Lions' team one-on-one, like with my own interview, which is going to be super cool, going to be super exciting. My first official pro player interview, so hopefully you guys are looking out for that. It should come out tomorrow morning on my channel, and I do hope you guys check it out, because if that video does well and it pops off, I mean, I posted the Wonder Scrum interview the other day, got 11,000 views. That was awesome. If we can get this next interview to do, you know, really well as well, then I'll have some info to be able to take back to Riot, take back to the LCS, take back to the LEC to show them like, hey, stuff can do good on my channel. So, hey, I have an interview coming tomorrow. I hope you guys run it up. But getting back to the world stuff, getting back to the actual topic at hand, we got some bad news for Fnatic. So after taking down Evil Geniuses, Fnatic had a major advantage in this group, and all Fnatic had to do was run the table. If they go 5-0, they are headed to the main stage at Worlds. They're headed to the group stage. I think people are saying that they would be headed to Group A. I don't know if that's for sure, but whatever. They'd be headed to one of the 4 groups. And again, after they beat EG, that was supposed to be their toughest test. They only had minor region teams to beat ahead of them. But very similarly to G2 at MSI, I don't know why this is a European thing this year. G2 and Fnatic both have had no trouble beating up on NA. EU is 7-0 against NA this year. But G2 had problems with some of the minor region teams at MSI, and Fnatic had problems with a minor region team at Worlds. This match was very big, and all of a sudden, this group is so spicy. This group is so insane, and we just have absolute chaos. Loud, the Brazilian team, you know, Loud is one of the biggest up-and-coming organizations in esports right now. Obviously, they just won a Valorant title. Their League of Legends team, yeah, they're still a minor region, a very small team, but apparently they're getting better. Apparently, their fan base is growing crazily fast. I know the player base is really insane in Brazil, and I would not be surprised if a couple years from now, Brazil is one of the strongest minor regions, just based off of the amount of players they have and the amount of support and everything behind them, and especially with an organization like Loud in place. But man, they didn't just beat Fnatic, they smacked Fnatic around, and this was really not good. I mean, if you look at these scores, this was upset in Elo hell. Upset 3-0-2 on the Caitlyn, but then we had Razork 1-6, Wonder 0-4 on the Fiora. Wonder got absolutely top-gapped in this game. People were so impressed by Robo's Aatrox, and Wonder having a supposed counterpick. Fiora is supposed to beat Aatrox. Getting this badly gapped in the top lane was very rough to see. Hillisang did not look good in this game, 1-7-3 on the Braum. And Humanoid, despite the fact that he has had a very strong world so far, Humanoid I think has been in amazing form. He did not show up in this game either. And again, this was a 20 kill to 6 kill victory for Loud. Fnatic got 3 towers. They got no inhibs, no barons, and not even a single dragon. So, I mean, and just an absolutely insane win for Loud. And what I did think was kind of cool, I posted this tweet yesterday in his post-match interview. This was like in the post-match scrum. I tried to record it. I was busy, so I tried recording it on my phone, and it didn't record the audio. So I don't have the audio for this, but this, I can confirm Elyoya said this in the post-game scrum. He said, you know, somebody asked him like, hey, what do you think of all the minor regions this year? Do you think they're getting better? Like, do you think they're closer to you guys or whatever? And Elyoya was like, no, I don't really think the minor regions are much better this year. I still think they're pretty weak overall, except for Brazil. He said he thinks Brazil has gotten a lot better, significantly better from what he can tell than last year. So maybe in some ways this is some cope for Fnatic fans. Like, hey, you guys lost to a really good up-and-coming region, and maybe a team that's overall pretty decent. It was really funny, you know, getting to see the guy with the bot gap on his biceps and all that stuff. Absolutely hilarious. But the bigger impact of this, not only an insane upset already with, you know, this whole thing going down and Brazil beating EU and all this stuff, but what this does for the standings, because now we can see at the top of this group, EG and Fnatic are tied. And I actually really like what Riot is doing in this instance. The head-to-head between Fnatic and EG is not going to be the tiebreaker to get out of this group. So that means if Fnatic and EG both win today, and I don't know if I have this pulled up or not, I should have this pulled up. So EG plays against Detonation Focus Me. That'll be a tough game. And Fnatic plays against Beyond Gaming. Now, if both of these teams win, Fnatic will be 4-1, EG will be 4-1. Fnatic will not automatically advance to the group stage. There will be a tiebreaker match. Now, since Fnatic has a head-to-head over EG, Fnatic will get side selection, so they do have some kind of advantage. But I actually think that's really, really good that we're not just automatically advancing teams to groups when both teams have the same record. Because yes, you can argue, oh, well, Fnatic beat EG. They're clearly better than them or whatever. But then, you know, I would also come back and say, okay, well, EG also beat Loud, and Fnatic didn't beat Loud. You know, they played everybody. Everybody played everybody. And if you end up with the same record of 4-1, you should have a tiebreaker match, especially if the prize is advancing to groups or having to play best of fives. If the prize is just, you know, better seating in a bracket and you guys are both going in the same bracket or whatever, I don't think we should waste the time doing the tiebreaker match. But in an instance like this, I think the tiebreaker match is awesome. So Fnatic has now been put in a situation where their destiny is still in their own hands. If Fnatic wins all their games, they will still be advancing to the group stage without having to play any best of fives or anything like that. But all of a sudden, their road got a lot tougher. And now they're playing against Beyond Gaming. Beyond Gaming is 2-2. They haven't looked amazing so far this tournament, but they haven't looked terrible. But Fnatic is in a must-win situation against Beyond Gaming, and then in a must-win situation against Evil Geniuses if they both win and go to a tiebreaker. There is also a scenario where EG loses and Fnatic loses, and a bunch of teams end up at 3-2. We could have like some 4-way tiebreakers, some 5-way tiebreakers, some real craziness like that. So Fnatic losing to Loud yesterday really did set this whole thing in motion where things are about to get insane. And man, if EG and Fnatic both win and we get Fnatic and EG in this tiebreaker, EU versus NA. I mean, obviously, you'd feel fine about that if you're a Fnatic fan. It's not the best case scenario, but hey, EU is 7-0 against NA this year. EG is all 7 of those losses. They have not found a way to be able to crack the European teams just yet. So if you are Fnatic, you'd probably feel pretty comfortable and pretty fine going into that matchup, especially after you already yourselves smacked around EG. But again, EG, they're just getting more and more practice together. They're getting more and more time on stage. They're getting more time with Cowrie. They're maybe ramping up. Obviously, like I said, they were able to beat Loud and looked overall pretty good against Loud. So I don't know, but I do know the EU-NA viewership is going to be insane on this matchup, and the stakes are going to be very, very high. It is good that still, if this tiebreaker does happen, the loser will not be eliminated. They'll just have to play a best of 5, probably against like Mad Lions or something like that. So there still will be hope, but we could potentially get EU-NA tiebreaker and then EU-NA best of 5, like EG against Mad Lions after that. So this rest of the play-in stage is still going to be very, very spicy. I love the current play-ins format, how this is all going down. I think this is going to be so much fun. I think it's going to be so exciting to watch. And EU getting this extra 4th seed has really added a lot to this whole thing. But a little bit more bad news for Fnatic. Upset says Fnatic still hasn't scrimmed due to Worlds 2022. So if you know the whole story, like a week or so ago, Fnatic was not scrimming in Europe because they were taking a break to relax and get ready for Worlds. They also had like media content obligations, all this stuff. And then Upset and Hilly got COVID. Then the team had to leave for North America without them. Then Upset and Hilly come later. So Fnatic as a team has not gotten to scrim or prepare it all together for Worlds, which is really kind of an absolute disaster. Now, Upset talks about in this, like, yeah, you know, we have to play a game every single day. Some days we have to play 2 games, so we don't really have time to scrim. And even if we do play 1 game early in the day and we get done early, we still need somebody else to play against us, and they have to like want to scrim and all this stuff. So Upset says they haven't been able to scrim. And I know back in Europe, Upset wished they were scrimming. I'm sure he wishes they were scrimming now. But this does mean that all this stuff is going to keep happening, and that Fnatic could, if they lose to EG, if they lose to Beyond Gaming or to EG, Fnatic could potentially have to play a best of 5 against one of these teams with their World's life on the line without having scrimmed at all, which could be really crazy. Now, obviously, if Fnatic does qualify, they're going to go to New York City. There's going to be all kinds of different teams to scrim against. They're going to have a couple of days to get that going. I mean, I hope, depending on when you win, because if you have to end up playing on Tuesday, I'm pretty sure the group starts on Thursday. I mean, it's a really tight schedule. I don't know. Fnatic's in a bad spot where they're not going to have much practice, not much scrims, not much preparation before this whole thing. But hopefully they can at least get some in. But yeah, the update is, hey, Fnatic, they are still not scrimming. They're still looking okay overall. They're still 3-1. Obviously, it hasn't mattered that much, but it would feel pretty bad to get eliminated from Worlds and you never really got to fully practice or prepare, which is why I think they should have been scrimming when they were in Europe in the first place. But hey, that's just me. I don't know. Pretty much over this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about anything we talked about in this video today. subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.